The news broke hours before kickoff that Josh March has departed for an unnamed Football League club. The striker netted 24 goals in 27 games for the Breaks since signing from Altrincham at the start of the season. This makes him the 7th striker under Holleran to go into full-time football for Leamington, a fine accolade to have for the Breaks boss. The hosts didn't have an ideal start to 2020 though. A defeat to Gloucester City on New Year's Day saw the Breaks suffer their 10th league defeat in 23 games and put a dampener on what has otherwise been a glistening Christmas period for Paul Holleran's men. The Breaks boss makes one change to the team that suffered defeat on Wednesday as Callum Gittins comes in for Jordan Murphy, who drops to the bench. Altrincham travelled to the Phillips 66 off the back of 3 wins on the spin, and a 2-1 victory over Curzon Ashton on New Year's Day saw them leapfrog the Breaks in the table into 12th place. But don't be fooled by the Robinsons' league position. Extensive runs in the FA Trophy and the FA Cup, in which League One side Portsmouth needed a late winner to prevail over them in the second round, means Altrincham have a 3-game advantage on those around them in the National League North standings. And it's behind for the first corner of the game. It will go Leamington's way. Be Gittins across to take it in his number 7 shirt, playing a wide role today. Callum Gittins. It's long, it's an inviting one. Edwards was up with Jack Lane, but Hancock will take over and look to drive clear. It's come out for Gittins. It's sat up nicely for him. Might look to strike this. He does strike it. Comes off a body in there. Leamington players calling for hands. Muted complaints really. More led by Kieran Anderson than anyone else, and the referee is unmoved. Here's Johnson. Offloads to Malt. Altrincham looking to assert their dominance very early on here at the Phillips 66, and they're certainly doing that. Johnson round the corner to Hume. Hume holds it up well. Johnson's continued his run down the right-hand side, tracked by James Mason. The ball into the penalty area. White is arriving! Off the line by Junior English, might have hit the post. It's Harrop. Desmore. And it's a corner to Altrincham. Well, hearts in the mouth moment for Leamington there as Andrew White arrived in the penalty area, only to see that his effort denied by the post. Leamington living very, very dangerously here inside his opening 7 minutes. Altrincham corner. You feel if a goal will come, it will come from those men in grey. Rising was one of the centre-backs, Muliaki, but his header way wide and not threatening Jake Weaver. Be another Altrincham corner as the onslaught on the Leamington penalty area continues. Altrincham's 4th of the game. And it comes once again. There's a cluster of bodies in that 6-yard box. Muliaki puts it back across. And Leamington somehow, in a crowd of bodies, managed to get the ball clear. Dexter Walters, the lone man up there for Leamington. Looking to put White under a bit of pressure, but White does well to work it back to his goalkeeper, Thompson, who can slice clear. Weaver lofts up towards Edwards, wins the header in the air against Muliaki. Anderson lays it off to Maycock, but it's straight into the midriff of Thompson, who can gather at his front post. Edwards let it run, and again Altrincham can pick up possession. Harrop with a flick over the top towards Hume, who's peeled out on the left-hand side. Hume looks to drive infield. Overlapping run is by White. Left-footed delivery, hanging in the air. It was the acrobatic effort by Harrop. Had to improvise as the ball was played behind him, but did well to connect, and if that was on target, Jake Weaver would have had a thing or two to think about. Here's White drifting inside. Johnson space to pull the trigger. Piers plays out wide towards Desmore, who can look to drive inside. Finds Hume into the penalty area. Spun away here. Still going Hume, and still denied by Weaver. Well, dangerous times for Leamington. Leamington living very, very dangerously. Stephen Morley looking for an option here. Morley with a deep ball into the penalty area. Edwards peeling away from his marker. Miliaki under pressure from Walters. Miliaki does well to fire a ball inside. Humes made the run forward. Available left is Johnston. Here is Johnston inside the Leamington penalty area. Overlapping is White. Ball across. And it's a vital challenge from Morley. Edwards there again. Here's Molt. And there was Richmond on the turn. Altrincham still threatening in this second half. White, time to dribble inside his own half. Looks to fire one out towards Johnston. Junior's English's header drops for Hancock. Now it's with Pearce, the substitute. Outside of him is Desmore. Desmore's low ball into the penalty area. And there's the breakthrough for Altrincham. And it's Josh Hancock who finishes off a slick move from the away side. Just guiding his effort into the bottom corner. And you have to say it's been coming for Altrincham. They dominated proceedings in the first half without creating much. But in the second half, at the start of this second half, they've been much better, much slicker in their play. And it was Desmore with the overlapping run that was the Leamington defence's undoing. His ball across the box was met by Josh Hancock, who just guided into that bottom corner with his right foot. Absolutely no chance for Jake Weaver. A very tidy finish from the Altrincham striker, who's been threatening all day, all afternoon. And it's Altrincham. They've been knocking on the door throughout the game, but the door has finally come down as they lead Leamington by a goal to nil 10 minutes into the second half. Gittins gets his foot on it, needs some support, Callum Gittins. Anderson desperate to stay on side. Here's Edwards. He's got no options in the penalty area. Goes out wide towards Gittins. Gittins delivers and pulls back inside the penalty area. No one in goal waiting. Here's Morley. Dexter Walters turns and looks to drive at the Altrincham defence. Still going Dexter Walters. Just stumbles in the penalty area. Anderson will pick up. Walters still on here for Leamington. Walters gets it out of his feet and delivers. Head away by Miliaki. Jack Lane looks to take it on himself. Still going Lane. Looks to pull the trigger, but dragged it well wide, Jack Lane. But that's the sort of inspiration Leamington need. A spark. Someone to step up to the plate and take it upon themselves to drive this Leamington team back into this game. That's what the centre-back was trying to do there, but was just way off target with his effort. Pearce, and again it'll be fired towards Jordan Hume, who is very much the target man at the moment for Altrincham, their outlet up there on the Leamington back line. Hancock the goal scorer. Johnston. Desmore's made the run up from right back. Pearce plays the 1-2 with Desmore. Desmore fires across goal. It's a good save by Weaver at his near post, and the effort came in from the centre midfielder Richmond, but it's blocked behind. There'll be another Altrincham corner. Maycock back to Murphy, who's forced into his own half. Here's Lane. Lane finds Murphy in a pocket of space who can turn. Still going Murphy. Taylor, he's onside. Connor Taylor bursts into the penalty area. On his right foot, Taylor with a snapshot straight into the chest of Thompson, who got down well. Not enough power in the effort from Taylor to trouble the Altrincham goalkeeper, but Leamington look at a lot more lively outfit. Hampson fires in towards Johnston, who touches inside past English. Pearce made the run through, but Johnston didn't quite see him. It's a chip ball out towards Andy White. It's a fantastic ball out towards the full-back. Andy White into the penalty area, gets the ball across. It's a vital retreating challenge from Jack Lane, with Tom Pearce looming at the back post. Leamington need to do something quickly here if they want to save a point from this game. Clark lofts it into the penalty area. Jack Lane is up there for the breaks. It will break for Jordan Murphy. He makes his way into the penalty area, but it's a wayward shot from the winger. And with that, Leamington's hopes of an equaliser slowly slip away. go up from Stephen Morley. But Altrincham can sweep up once again. And there's the full-time whistle. And it's 2 wins from 2 in 2020 for Altrincham. Still no win in 2020 for Leamington. And it was Hancock's finish in the 56th minute, which proves to be the winner here at the Phillips 66. Leamington, well, they just took too long to get into the game, as Altrincham dominated proceedings in the first and for most of the second half. There was a late rally from Leamington following Hancock's opener, but not enough to force an equaliser from the home side. And it's finished here, Leamington 0, Altrincham 1.
So, Paul, a very hard game out there with Altrincham. Looked very good out there, though, didn't they? Your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, listen, we had to hang on in there first half. It's been a long time since we've been here where, even when sort of Spennymoor here had good spells, but they had prolonged spells. And listen, we struggled to get a grip of them, their quality, their movement, front three, well, front four, really, with, the kid in the hole. But sometimes you've got to stick in there sometimes, and it's even in December we've had, you call a decent December, and even the couple of games we've lost, so far as in Gloucester, we've had plenty of the ball, we've created chances, we've had spells of possession, and it's probably the first time for a long time where we've been starved of the ball, really, and I think a lot of that's down to them. It's all right me saying this, that and the other. I think from our point of view, you've got to look at it and go, okay, you're going to have times like this in this league, and they're probably one of the few sides that have done it to us here this season. Definitely the best side we've come across this year here. And you've got to find different ways to win or stay in a game. And we needed to stay in the game a bit longer. You always know the game after 67 minutes is going to open up. And it did open up at the end a bit, and we huffed and puffed without any real quality, I don't think. But I think when we look back, as I just said to the players, I just felt in that period, we got through it. We actually didn't look too bad in the game heading in towards the hour period. But, we haven't done we haven't put enough legwork in today. And I think when we look at their goal, we'll see on the right-hand side, they've got the whole pitch to run into. I think there's been a few times their movement's been good, but I think at times we've got to do better defensively. And I think if we get in a game like today, we are second best, we'll accept that. But if you get to 75 minutes at 0-0, then it's a different ball game. And I think goals change games. The first goal is going to be massive. And listen, it's a good goal from them, the overload. But I think when we look back, I think we could have tracked better. Defended our front post a little bit better. So disappointing. But as I just touched on there, it's been a long time. We've done all right. We've played a lot of football. December's been tough. We've won 4 games in December, which you'd take that at any calendar month. And even the games, like I said, we've lost. It's been a tough run. We've lost a couple of good players. We've got a couple of players strapped up at the moment, and we are desperate for this week's rest. The schedule's, and I'm certainly not going to blame the schedule today because Altrincham were, deserved winners. But I think we just need a little breather. I think when we needed to get back to the good old DNA of Leamington, we were just a little bit short today. But listen, we learn from it. The group has to learn from it, and sometimes in this division, it's great when you can play like Darlington or Spennymoor or Telford, and you can. And Hereford and get on the ball and play. But in this league now, again, you've got to really roll your sleeves up and hang on in there with the good sides and wait for your moment. And I think we could have done that a little bit better. But I'm certainly not criticising the group because they've put some minutes and miles in the last month. And we'll have a little break this week, and we'll look forward to some super games in January.
Obviously, the news broke before the game that Josh will be leaving. How much will he be missed here at Leamington?
Well, listen, he's obviously going to be missed. Listen, any player that has the impact that Josh has had at the football club in the sort of 6 months he's been here, finding goal scorers is very difficult. There's teams at this level, below and above, paying a hell of a lot of money to try and solve them problems. We've been very fortunate over the last few years with some of the boys we've picked up. We picked Massey up last year from Barwell, and Colby come back, and with Josh coming in. And it's great to see the players develop, whatever. But on Josh, listen, he's a great example for any young player any non-league player in late teens, early 20s, playing at the lower league. I mean, listen, I think he was released 3 times by the age of 14 from pro clubs. Played park football then for a couple of years. Went and played at step 7. Went and played at step 6. Had a few years at step 3 and 4, and he's made the step up this year. So it's a great story, and like Colby Bishop, thoroughly deserves it. You listen, and we're just glad to play our part, really. We're obviously going to miss him, but great story, and couldn't happen to a nicer kid. So we're delighted with that. But you know, when Courtney Baker went, or Stenson went, or Bishop went, what are you going to do? I'm sure we'll come up with something.